watching a live stream. I mean, if anything, just for Bernie's speech. ABC, CBS, NBC, and Fox News will carry the convention from 10 to 11 p.m. each night. C-SPAN, CNN, MSNBC, and PBS will cover the full 2 hours each night. Streams will be available on Apple TV, Roku, and Amazon Fire TV by searching Democratic National Convention or 2020 DNC, and on Amazon Prime Video by searching DNC. The convention will air on AT&T Uverse channels 212 and 112, on AT&T DirecTV channel 201. It will also air on Comcast Xfinity Flex and Comcast X1, so you just say DNC into your voice remote. So it's going to be interesting to see what we got Bernie Sanders coming out to speak as well. So, yeah. It's going to be interesting to see it, like, comparatively to last year. Like, what is he going to say? What's the tone he's going to take? Because, of course, I mean, this, especially with the fact that there has been no effort at all to appeal by Joe Biden or any of his allies to the progressive base. So how that factor in speech, it's going to be very interesting to see. I'm sure we'll be covering it. So if you want to tune into Twitch, follow us at Spencer Walsh Radio Network, and also watch the convention with me tonight. Stay tuned to my Twitter, SBW272, or head out to my Twitch already, Spencer Walsh Radio Network. Give us a follow for that. So, all right, that's all we got for you on that. Now it's time to go to a recent YouTube story I've done about this unemployment kind of phenomenon that I've been following through with help of Washington Post reporter Jeff Stein. So if you want to hear these YouTube videos first before they come out, please do subscribe to my YouTube channel, Spencer Walsh, and then you can hear them before we play them on the show. It's easy, it's free. Hello, everybody. My name is Spencer Walsh. Welcome to this video. I know, very rare. You get to see the other side of the room today. How exciting is that? But if I told you the most disturbing thing about our country right now was happening on a Twitter thread that was posting images of a subreddit, you may think that I'm crazy. Like, we're dealing with a global pandemic here. How could a Twitter thread that's talking about a Reddit thread could be considered more important? Well, the Twitter thread that I am speaking of is one called, it's one by Washington Post economic reporter Jeff Stein, and here it is. He's been doing this, I think, really interestingly and really effectively all throughout the pandemic. He's been posting screenshots that he sees from r/unemployment, which is obviously their subreddit where people go to talk about the fact that they're unemployed, right? So it is absolutely horrifying. It is absolutely just bone-chilling and is incredibly disturbing. So here is the first post. This is from Georgia with the title, "I have $26 left. I'm on my way to another state for a medical emergency with my fiance, and I'm broke. Tomorrow, my $250 comes in. The $600, of course, I'm talking about unemployment benefits there, was keeping her medicine in stock. I can't afford one copay. Jesus, I hope they come to agreement soon. Why is the House even allowed to adjourn until the 14th? Come on, reps. I need to buy medicine, food, and gasoline. I don't even care about rent at this point." The next post here is from Michigan. Between posting on here or on a depression sub on my last legs, I filed for UE benefits for the first time back in March, and today I have still received no money. Admittedly, I could have signed up sooner, but I've always worked for what's mine, and taking this handout was my last resort. I want to work for my money, which, again, just to pause for a moment for a second here, it's reminded me of what Steve Mnuchin said. I think that was really just rubbed me and so many other people the wrong way about. It's like, if we pay them the $600 a week, they're not going to want to go back to work. But no, I think really what we've seen from Americans throughout this pandemic and throughout the history of America is, and I think it's been drilled in by, I think, the stigmatization, especially over the last 40, 50 years, of taking government handouts, accepting assistance from really your fellow citizens when you need it, when you fall down the hole, accepting assistance from your fellow citizens, your fellow Americans, your fellow countrymen, has become so deeply stigmatized that I genuinely think that there is a large portion of Americans who like, if they had the opportunity to work for less, they would, because the dignity of work, all that stuff that right wingers have been saying forever and ever, like that stuff, it's very, very important. And I do think, I mean, obviously it's a very, very important to work. Like it's better to work than to not work, but also I think it's very important to have a fulfilling job that rewards you. Otherwise, work is hell, really, because it's how you're spending most of your life until death. But I think the biggest part of this here is there's a deep stigmatization about this that is really infecting a lot of American culture, and really at the time when we need it the most. The virus is still doing its... but now getting a job that has safe working conditions and earns enough money is twice as difficult as it was before, especially with all the virus and mask debates. The virus is still doing its thing. The politicians are not doing anything useful. I'm still without a job, and now I'm so depressed from all this, I don't know anymore whether to call the UE hotline or a suicide hotline. I paid into unemployment for 10 plus years and never once took out. Now the time comes where I'm literally on the verge of losing my truck, my credit, my sanity, and the suits and ties. Just look on while I financially bleed out and lose everything I've worked hard for and improve myself for in my adult life. And this is, again, these are not people who were kind of on the razor's edge before, although there was many people on the razor's edge. I mean, a large subset of Americans couldn't cover a $400 expense. So many Americans are living paycheck to paycheck even before this. An economic crisis like this could be a fatal blow. And again, I think most Americans would tell you that they if they had to do it again, they wouldn't change lockdown. The lockdown was necessary, I think, for health reasons. The area where it failed was the government. Unemployment insurance, that stuff, people have paid into that for years. And like this guy says, these are people who have been hardworking citizens, people who have been kind of struggling and putting things into the system for so long, who have been like signed the social contract, said if you put this in when you need the most, it will come out to help for you. Like when you put this money away for a rainy day or for other people's rainy days, it'll come to help you. And now that help is just not coming. Look at this last paragraph here. I need some serious help, man. I feel like I'm drowning. I'm drowning in my own agony. I don't know what to do anymore. I'd get therapy if my UE ever came through. Feels like they're just waiting for us to die or kill ourselves off. I truly feel abandoned by this country. Like this, if you want to look at the real reporting of like what life on the ground is like in most of America, I have to get a sense. I have to get the idea that like this is a big part of it. I mean, Jesus Christ, monitoring this, it's horrifying. Here's a post from California. Before COVID, I was making about $1,600 a week. I had a few K in savings. I got furloughed in March, and even with the extra $600, I was still making about $500 less a week, but I made it work. Now, here we are in August, and my savings is gone. I don't know when I'm going to get back to work. I'm wondering even if Congress passes stimulus or UI both by Friday, and this was August 12th, so they obviously didn't pass that. Both by Friday, will I even get it when I certify on Sunday? Next week, my budget is negative $400. On top of that, there's no food in the fridge. Can't get food stamps because I made too much last year. I will lose my car if I don't pay it next week. And if I lose my car, I can't take the next job the union sends me on. What are the chances of seeing anything more than 900 California will give me next week? I don't know what to do. I'm ready to say F it and go to Vegas, drop my last 200 on black. And if it misses, take a toaster bath. So, I mean, I think you know what that means. And obviously, I have to highlight this part here on the bottom about the National Suicide Prevention Lifeline there. Because it's unlike, I think, anything we could have imagined. Here's another one from Arizona. So, I have months and months of back pay that hasn't been paid. And now my weeks won't file due to the in-progress pay date nonsense. I've talked to 4 to 5 representatives over the last week with no answer other than wait. Well, I've waited, and now my power turns off at the end of the day in a house where my entire family has moved in with me. Worst of all, I have 2 toddlers and virtually nowhere to go. Rona and the government has picked off my family one by one, and this seems to be the final nail in the coffin. doesn't even feel like I'm living in a first world country anymore. And it's been eye-opening, losing everything and having to liquidate everything, virtually everything, in order to pay bills. Good luck to you all who are going through the same thing with PUA. I hope resolution comes to us all. If anyone knows a way to get these weeks paid out, please let me know. I'm desperate enough to do anything right now. I don't even know. This is just it's to be alive during this time. It is just the suffering that people are going out through. It's just unimaginable, and this is, I think, reading this part, like reading this unemployment subreddit, just seeing so many people kind of realize the deal that they've been handed, and the fact that this whole the whole myth of government stability or whatever is just, it's proven to be such a house of cards. It's just absolutely horrifying. This is from somewhere in the United States of America. I saved my last 2 unemployment checks with the added $600 to pay August rent. Last week, I got $190. I bought food for my family and dog and put gas in my car so I could drop off applications and resumes. Yesterday, I got another $190 and I noticed my cell phone bill was overdue and I needed to pay it to avoid cutting it off. So I did. Otherwise, none of those jobs can even reach me. I've got $18.91 in my bank account this morning. My cupboards are getting low. My dog will have to eat whatever me and the kids eat, and my gas light will be back on shortly. I'm diabetic and on metformin and out of insulin. Hopefully, lack of food will help with those problems because it ain't going to be medicine anytime soon. My phone still hasn't rang from any of the jobs I've applied for. More serious than any of that, my wife is still in bed, crippled with depression. If something doesn't break soon, I worry that it will be us that breaks. I just want someone to say something is going to happen. I never worried in my life about politics affecting me so personally, but here it is at my front door. All these things show that no matter who wins in November, no matter who secures the Senate, no matter who wins the House, no matter who wins the presidency, I think it's fair to say at this point we are a fundamentally broken country, deeply in our levels of government, all throughout. Just the care that we provide people, the standard of living that we give people, it's falling apart right before our eyes. And living here is just absolutely horrifying to watch. Yeah, so that was my video about the unemployment and the reality of the way things are here in America. It is a very disturbing situation, very, very tough thing to watch people going through. And yeah, it's just absolutely horrifying in every single solitary way. And that kind of does, it is kind of supposed to hint about, it does, I think, lead nicely into our next story because we have to look at who's causing this problem and really the fact that it is coming from both sides here. For the past few days, celebrities, politicians, writers, and pundits, they've been celebrating Joe Biden's announcement of Kamala Harris as his running mate, often framing the argument around the U.S. potential to essentially fix everything that Trump has broken. Biden and Harris, too, represent that possibility for millions of people living on the margins who have been directly harmed by the Trump administration's open persecution and defiance of both political norms and objective morals. But often the argument for voting for both Biden and Harris has devolved into something twisted and bizarre, in which Harris's role as a public servant is in a representative democracy is erased. The best example of this is the Instagram post by acclaimed director Ava DuVernay. So this is again from a piece written by Jack Crosby. It reads, pretty much the core of DuVernay's argument is this: the problematic or non-progressive parts of Harris's career are immaterial. The only priority right now is ending the depravities of the Trump administration. To lift the relevant parts, here we go. Here's pretty much this is the Instagram post. This is the caption to the picture, which is the headline of the New York Times the day that Kamala Harris joined, Wednesday, August 12th. There's no debate anymore. There is no room for it in my book. We either make this happen or literally more of us perish. People are dying. Someone I love died. The virus is real. If it hadn't visited your doorstep, it will. Oh, but Kamala didn't do this. or she didn't do that. I hear you, I know, and I don't care. Because what she didn't do is abandon citizens